Welcome back to the Crypto Astro channel, bringing a radical, innovative new approach to crypto analysis, combining technical analysis with astrology. Please hit that subscribe button as I put out these high-value videos for free every week. None of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. So here's the Solana chart. The good news is we are still sitting above this yellow moving average, this 21 SMA line. And as you can see historically, we go above that yellow line in a bull market, and then when we're retesting it, we can fall through it for a little bit, but bounce off of it. So we want to be bouncing off of it in bull markets. In bear markets, it stays below and holds that line as resistance. So right now we're above that. So great news. You know, we're in a bull market, as many of you know. We are stalling out though. So is that it for Solana? Is that the all-time high, or is that the peak for this rally, or are we going to be pumping back up? Solana has been one of the highest performing altcoins so far in this bull market. We look at Solana versus Bitcoin. I mean, it was outperforming Bitcoin for quite a while, really ever since September of last year. And it's just been going up. I mean, it traded sideways versus Bitcoins for a while. Now, the only slight concern is that if we look at this trend line, we were kind of on an uptrend line there, but now we're breaking through that. So a little bit of concern there. I can close that one. But still, you know, as long as we hold the previous, you know, well, actually there's a 50% level from the peak back here down to the lows, 50% level around, well, actually that has updated around this level. So as long as we hold that, but let's look at the Solana chart. The previous one was just versus Bitcoin. If we do a 50%, or if we do a Fibonacci, we can go from the current high down to the lows here. And there's still a lot of room. 50% level would go all the way down to 137. Wow, that would be a scary dump. But we probably don't need to go that low. Even if we hold the previous swing top, I mean, the previous peak was at 210. If we can hold that, then we're still good to go. As you can see here, we don't want to close below 210. And so far we are doing that. If we look at Solana versus Ethereum, ever since, you know, last year, Solana's been outperforming Ethereum. But now it's actually closing below this 21 SMA line. Now, we did do that back in May through June this summer. So it's possible that we could get right out of here not too long from now. It's certainly possible. But I'll also be talking about the Solana astrology, and we'll be looking at price predictions. All right, it's not financial advice, but just some possible price peaks that I'm looking at. All right, and this is an overview here. And we could also look at the Bitcoin dominance, because typically we get an altcoin run. So in the last cycle, we got an altcoin run. I mean, really, when the Bitcoin dominance started falling back in the end of December 2020, we got a big dump here, and then look, it traded sideways for a while. The Bitcoin dominance stayed pretty even before a final major dump, and that was really the altcoin run. Peaking out in March all the way to May, a couple months there. But it's interesting that, you know, we got the first initial drop and then it stalled out. Now it's stalled out for about 91 days since it dumped. So it's possible that we could get that stall if we take it from the Bitcoin dominance peak here in November. It could go all the way into February. Things could stall out, and then maybe an altcoin run. In that case, it would be March, April. So just interesting. I'm not going to guarantee that whatsoever. We're just looking at an analysis here. All right. I also want to look at the RSI and the stochastic RSI. The good news is the RSI, we were on a downtrend, but we just pumped, and we're at this yellow line here, this yellow moving average once again. Ideally, we would want to see a bounce off of that because we don't want to go through it for too long because that would be more bearish. Let's look at what happened in previous ones. Yeah, we can fall through it and then bounce back, but ideally we bounce off of it as support. All right, so we'll be keeping our eyes. The next weekly close will be really interesting to see what happens. Now, the stochastic RSI, we did see a cross down back in November, signaling that price is going down for a bit or stalling out. The momentum is going down. Typically that's not good. But if we look at previous bull runs, right before Solana peaked, we also saw this back in September 2021, where it was also falling down, but then we got a stochastic RSI up, a very quick one, a stochastic RSI cross up, and that was the final mega pump. So that was back here in September. The price stalled out for a bit, perhaps what we're seeing now before a final mega pump, and that pump can be pretty sizable. We can look at how big that was. Either we're in this kind of area or we're in this kind of area right before the peak. I can't guarantee which one. So we can't necessarily tell the future, but how much did it pump from the lows here? It did get another 100%, 120% pump there. But that's from the very bottom. So if we bought, like, I don't know, at a more reasonable level, it's going to be a little bit less than that. A little bit less returns than that. Okay. Now we are going to take a look at the astrology. Okay, that's what we do on this channel. So this is very interesting. I went way back, all the way to last year because, well, actually no, earlier. This is all this year. So all through this year, we had this really powerful transit, Pluto conjunct the Solana Saturn. And this is all based on the Genesis block of Solana, which, from what I've found, is April 9th, 2020 in San Diego. Okay. And so we got this Pluto conjunct Saturn. This happened 3 times. Well, it's happened twice so far this year, and it's happening a 3rd time on January 4th over here. So it happened the first 2 times, February 28 of this year, and then again July 9th of this year. So what does this transit mean? What does it mean for the price of Solana? Well, with a deep dive analysis, I noticed that in February, what happened on February 28th when we got this transit was getting a major run up for Solana. Okay, so February 28th was over here, right around in this area here. All right, we were getting a major run up there. We got a major pump there. And then what happened in July was around here, where we also got a nice pump there. And it was very close to a peak that we had there. Okay, so both very bullish transits, getting major pumps into a local peak. All right, they were both preceded by a local peak. So what could be happening the next time this happens? Let's go on the daily. Coming up over here, January 4th, could we be getting a pump up there? Certainly possible. As if history repeats. Okay, now what else do we have here? So we also have another transit I want to show y'all. This is significant. Neptune conjunct the Solana Mercury. Okay, some people in previous videos were asking me, what does the E, X, and L mean? Well, the X is basically the most important part, is when it gets a direct hit. So when it gets a direct hit is on April 14th. which it already had this year. And then September 24th, we already had this year. And then it gets it again February 14th. Very significant. So what happened in these 3 times for the price of Solana? We had April 14th, Solana peaked and dumped. And then September 24th here, Solana stalled out before a big run up. So a bit bearish, a bit negative. We can take a look again on the chart. We zoom out. And we look at what happened April 14th. It's right around here. So we got this big dump here. It was after the Solana peak there. So significant. It was, we had a peak, then it dumped. And then September 24th, all the way over here, the market was kind of stalling out for a while here. So this area, stall out there. So a bit negative for the price action. Either it stalls out or a dump. And so the next time we're getting this transit is in February. So that would line up pretty well if history repeated, kind of like we saw back here, where it runs up to a peak and then falls off close to February 14th. Now, I'm not sure. Well, none of this is financial advice, so I'm not sure about any of this. But we could get either a peak around February 14th and then a fall off, or a peak somewhat before February 14th, maybe a few weeks before, because that's what we got back here is we got this peak right here, March 18th, almost a month before that crash. So either we get a peak in January or around February 14th, just based on this astrology analysis. All right. Just based on this specific astrology. So I thought that was really interesting. And, so maybe this all-time high could happen sooner than we think. As, I think a lot of people are planning on like May or something like that, or probably maybe even November of next year, which is also possible. I want to, emphasize that as well. I'm not saying that's not possible, but it's interesting to see what the astrology is saying. It's pretty bearish in February, so a little concern there for sure. Okay, quick announcement is spots are filling up for the Crypto Astro Mastermind, my private group. The next live call is happening tomorrow in less than 24 hours. I'll be sharing a sneak peek for the 2025 Bitcoin astrology. There's a lot of questions I'm getting about that. What's the astrology for 2025? I want it. I want to get your analysis of that because I've been 89% accurate for the last 2 years. So I'll be diving into that deep astrology analysis. I'll also be diving into the astrology analysis of every Bitcoin all-time high. So, if we look in the history books, we've gotten these Bitcoin all-time highs historically. That's a little crazy right there, but, I'll be diving into what has been what is the astrology saying around these peaks here so that we can identify what could be the next peak over there. All right, so that's what I'll be diving into on this private call. So if you're interested, sign up for the Crypto Astro Mastermind. Use the special coupon code and you get that discount for a limited time only. Jump on that. Once again, it's happening very, very soon, tomorrow. So you will get access to that when you sign up. Use the coupon code to the moon on the checkout page. Okay, so what are the price predictions for Solana? All right, once again, it's not financial advice. Can't guarantee any of this. But just simple price analysis here is, it looks a little messier. But if we, so I looked at the previous high, you can either take the correction that we had right before the market peak, and take the Fibonacci's off of that, or you can take the, this is a little bit off there. Got to correct that. Around there. You can take the previous peak all the way to the low and then use those Fibonacci's. So in that case, we could see a high around, let's see. Well, if it goes up to the 1.618 Fibonacci, that would be price of 418, which is probably a lot lower than a lot of people think. But who knows what's going to happen this cycle. The 2.27 level is $584. The 2.618 Fibonacci is at $672. And then much higher, the 3.618 level is, I believe, $926. And then I think this would probably be the maximum we'd go. Just my opinion. You can make your own decisions. Is the 4.236 is at $1,082. Okay, so that's just based off the Fibonacci analysis. Interesting there. So far, we are, about halfway there, it looks like. Halfway there to the, even just the 1.618, okay? But we're only a quarter their way, less than a quarter to the maximum peep there, in my opinion, the 4.236, above $1,000. Now, if we only took this correction here from March down to this bottom here in August, that could potentially bring us up to only $481. So that would be my more cautious price estimate there for me. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what questions y'all have. Bro, can you do one on Turbo? We've got a commenter there. I don't know what Turbo is, never heard of it. So apologies, probably can't make that happen. Hi, Jack, I'm from Mauritius. Wow, I don't know where that is. Interesting. Thanks for sharing. You say Solana might rise next year, March 2025 or early 2026. Well, isn't sure. I like all the songs. Thanks. God bless you. Yeah. Yeah, there's a chance it goes to March, but like I was saying, that transit in February there's a lot of caution there, I'm thinking. A lot of caution. So either it's going to peak out January, February, or it's just going to stall out and then maybe it pumps into March. But first, we just got to, I don't know, I got to wait and see. Personally, I'm a bit more cautious, especially with that transit in February, that Neptune conjuncting the Solana Mercury. So that's just me. But hope everybody's got a lot of value from this. Maybe some things you didn't want to hear. But hey guys, if we want to succeed in this market, we got to be honest, right? We got to be, because you don't want to follow people that are telling you things that are not going to line up with the price action here, such as people just saying, oh, we're going to $1,000 guaranteed. And then you wait to go to $1,000, but it only goes to, we get to February and it's not, and it goes to 480 or something like that. And then you miss a chance at selling profits, and then there's a big dump. I don't want you guys to get caught up with that. But, like I said, it's not financial advice, so you guys got to make your own decisions. But I'm just saying that I'm feeling a bit cautious with that February Astro. And in my private group, I can tell y'all what I'm doing specifically when I'm selling, when I'm taking profits and all that jazz. There is a chance that, if we do go up really high January, that I probably would take profits at some point. But there is a chance, we'll have to see in March, but there's a chance that I could buy more in March. But we got to see what the charts are doing. The charts don't lie. We stick to the charts. We use the astrology to help us navigate through the storm, through the chaos in this crypto journey. And so far, it's been doing very well. I was able to take profits before the summer dump of this year and then buy back in when we got that huge dump. And so things have been going quite well with this crypto astrology channel. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in, and let me know what comments you guys have. Let me know, where do you think Solana is going? Do you think it's going to 480? Do you think we're going to 1,000? Do you think we're going to 2,000? What are your guys' thoughts? I'd love to hear it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.